Hello, my name is Devon with HDpiano.com, and in today's lesson I'll be showing you guys how to play Close to Me by Ellie Goulding. I'll give you a little demo of what we'll be working on in this lesson, and then I'll break it down. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there we are at the first chorus. So we're going to get through that much in this video, but the rest of the videos with the rest of the song can be found over at HDpiano.com. Now you may have noticed that I'm playing the melody in my right hand, so this is a melody-focused arrangement, but I will be making a separate video called Accompaniment Tips where I'll go over ways to turn this into an accompaniment version, so you can play behind a singer or accompany yourself if you're singing this. So there's a lot more in store, and yeah, it's going to be a fun lesson. Now, before I begin, I got a quick question. This song is guitar-driven, at least to start, and I think I could play that on guitar. It's pretty simple, but I'm pretty bad at guitar. I've just never really put in the time, and I'm curious where you guys stand with guitar. Have you ever played guitar? Are you pretty good at guitar? Comment below. Let me know your guitar skills. All right. We are in the key of E major. All right, it's important to know your major scale. So, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, and E. So we have 4 sharps in this major scale. And why is it important? Because it's going to inform most of the notes in this song. Most pop music is diatonic, meaning it only uses the 7 notes of a major scale or minor scale. But in this case, we do see a couple unusual chords, this G sharp major, for example. So we'll get there in a minute, but it still helps to just have that harmonic context, that foundation. So just make sure you know what notes work and what notes don't. All right, so that's your E major scale, and our first chord is E major, believe it or not. So let's look at the right hand first. We have this very consistent pattern happening in the first 2 measures, and it's a direct copy of the guitar part. And I like to put my second finger on E and my pinky on B. And by the way, middle C is here, so we're just below middle C. And we're going to play 2 beats of 16th notes alternating between these 2 notes. So E, B, E, B, E, B, E, B. So that's 1, 2. All right, so that's at a very slow tempo. Now our next chord, we're going to take that E down to C sharp. And the same pattern applies. So let's try it. 3 and 4 and. All right, so the reason I put my second finger on E is so that it's easy to get to that C sharp. If I jump my thumb, it's hard to control it. It might come out too loud or something, might be off the beat. So that just helps, kind of like keep my fingers in the right place. So let's try going from E to C sharp. Here we go. 4. All right, so that's our first measure. Now we're going to take it up. And this is where we see an unusual note, right? This is a G sharp major chord, so we have a B sharp, right? Where we would normally expect a B, we're seeing a B sharp, and that's why it sounds a little like, ooh, a little fresh. So we have D sharp and B sharp, same pattern. And now we're just moving up a half step, so the D sharp becomes E, B sharp becomes C sharp, and we play this for 1 beat, and that's where the melody comes in. What's going on the left? Well, at first, if you're not totally comfortable with it, I would recommend just holding the left and focusing on the right. So we'll play E, C sharp, G sharp, and A. We can loop it. The key here is making sure that your tempo is very steady. Your volumes are as equal as possible. You don't have like one note way louder than the rest like that. And you just want it to be very driving and very just crisp and clean. And then when you're ready, you you can turn that left hand into eighth notes, which means every time we hit our thumb, we hit our left hand. So it looks like this. So as you can see, that kind of helps push it forward a little bit. So there you have it. That's the intro, and that's kind of the main guitar riff that plays through the entire verse. So already you've got a lot of ground covered if you're just trying to learn the accompaniment version. Now the melody comes in at the end of that second measure, and it's just it just descends the E major scale. All right. So the whole melody for this first bit of the verse sticks to these 5 notes, all below middle C. And we can just keep our hand in this shape. This is like a first position shape. E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B. All right, so the rhythm is very 16th note driven. We rest on the first 16th note, so we go 1, E and a 2, E and a 3, E and a 4, E and a 1, E and a 2, and. That's our first phrase. So it's a lot of notes, but it's pretty simple. I'm not gonna call them out one by one because I think it's pretty obvious at this nice slow tempo. Just make sure you are clear on the rhythm. So 1. All right. Now our next 2 measures are identical. Okay, so the only other thing to do now is, well, obviously we got to speed it up a little bit, but we have to add those eighth notes into the left hand. So I was playing half notes, and eighth notes would look like this. Okay, so that's the first half of the verse, and let me go ahead and just play it a little bit faster, a little closer to recorded tempo so you can play along, and then we'll move on. Here we go. 2, 3, let's see, so 3 and 4 and... Okay, let's plow ahead. So this next 4 measure cycle or phrase is nice. The melody comes up a bit, we lose that constant 16th note thing, and we kind of thicken up the left hand a little bit. So we're going to keep those eighth notes on bottom, but we're going to add a fifth to each chord. So we add a B to our left, and we hold the B while we play the E. Now for C sharp, we play a G sharp, and we hold it. Now for G sharp major, we play a D sharp and hold it. And then up a half step to A with the E on top. And we do it again. Fantastic. Now the right hand is helping support those chords with some notes below the melody. So we're starting to see some harmony in the right hand. Our first chord is E major, so we have G sharp and B, E in the melody. And the melody is going to go all the way up to G sharp, so we hit that, and then we walk up the scale. E, F sharp, G sharp, and then we land on this lovely C sharp minor 9. So we have an E and a G sharp and a D sharp. So, not really doing it to tempo right now, just want you to get familiar with the notes. And then our next measure, G sharp major. We have G sharp, B sharp, and D sharp. And again, walking up the scale, but just starting from a note below. So we have D sharp, E, F sharp, and then we take everything below that up a half step to A major, so A and C sharp in the right, with F sharp in the melody, and then a quick little grace, a kind of soulful bluesy lick back down to E, which is a G natural, F sharp, and an E. All right, so those first 2 measures, out of time. Okay? Once you got that, you can add the rhythm. The right hand is 1 E and a 2. So 1 E and a 2 E and 1, 3, 4. 1 E and a 2 E and 3, 4. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4. 1 E and a 2 E and 3, 4. That's the whole phrase, and the chords just remain the same below. So, and the only other thing left is to add the eighth notes again to the left hand. So it would look like this. All right, so I'll play that one more time, nice and slow, and then I think we can call it for this lesson. And I'll see you over at HDpiano.com for the rest. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. There we go. All right, guys, my name's Devon. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see you shortly. But while I have you here, please like and subscribe and follow us on social media. That way you know about all of our upcoming lessons. We've got one coming every day. We'll talk soon.